My name is Jerry Miller. I've worked for the Dallas Fire Department. It will be 43 years in December. I come to work for the fire department because I thought it would be a job that I could help people in, and I've really enjoyed doing that. I like working for the fire department because of the hours and the men that I work with. When I'm not here at the station, I play golf, I fish, and do a little hunting. The most interesting fire I've ever been to was at the Plazas of America downtown. We had a fire there one Sunday afternoon on the 23rd floor. There was fire coming out of two windows on the 23rd floor when we got there. We come to work for 24 hours and then we're off for 48 hours. So basically we work one day and off two. A typical day of a fireman is we get to work about 6, make coffee, sit around and talk to the shift that's getting off. They tell us everything that happened on their shift. Then we cook a big breakfast. We're big on cooking at the fire stations, and then we'll clean up after cooking, and then we always have a project to do. We'll either go to a school out at the training facilities, or we have schools here in the district to stay sharp at our job. At this fire station, it's the middle of the road fire station. We make about 6 to 12 runs a day on a normal day, and in bad weather we'll make 18 to 25 runs a day. When I came to work for the fire department, I was assigned to a station out in East Dallas off of Shiloh Road, and I've worked at probably about 6 different fire stations. I worked 8 years in our communications center at our dispatch center as a dispatcher. And I made lieutenant in '90, and I stayed there for 17 years and then came to this station and been here ever since. I'm the youngest fireman that's ever been hired for the city of Dallas. When I came to work, you didn't have to have any college hours in '71. We didn't even have ambulances in '71. We used all funeral homes and private ambulances. '72, we put the ambulances in service, and it's just evolved from there. Yeah, the Dallas Fire Department has a little over 2,000 employees, and I've been, like I said, nearly 43 years. I'm number 7 in the fire operations on seniority, and then there's one fire investigator that's got seniority on me. So overall, I'm number 8 in the scheme of things on seniority. My main responsibility as a lieutenant on this fire engine is to make sure everyone here is safe and everyone goes home safe the next morning. I have to take care of the safety of all the guys when we're out on runs and stuff. We have a lot of freeways in this location, and it's pretty dangerous out on the freeways, working car accidents and things. But I'm just one of the guys here at the fire station when there's not a run going on.
My name is Brian Cox. I work for the Dallas Fire Department. I've been on for, it'll be 14 years in October. I've known Lieutenant Miller for, I guess we've worked here together for about 9 years, almost 9 years. So that's when I met him, when he came to this station. He's the lieutenant at this station, which means on this shift he's in charge. So he's kind of, the fire department works as far as a chain of command. So, you know, everything filters down. So as far as our company, he's in charge. But it's more than that for me. Since I've met him, he has been like a father figure to me, and he's really been like my dad. And that started early on. As soon as I met him, he kind of took me in, and these past 9 years, he's pretty much played the role as my dad, not only on this fire department, but off duty as well. He is very close to being one of the top service guys on this job. He's been on for 40 plus years, 42 years, something like that. So that's interesting in itself, in that this fire department has become very young. Even me, there's been over 1,000 people hired since I've been on. So for him to still be in the position that he is, that's pretty unique for someone to last that long on this job, because this job can be very taxing, not only physically, but it can be taxing mentally, and it puts a lot of stress on you. So for him to be still doing it 42 plus years, that's saying something. People ask him how much longer he's going to work, and he said 9 years ago, it was 2 years. So here we are 9 years later. He tells funny stories. He's been on for so long and everyone has heard of him. He tells us stories about when he hires back or works at another station. And he said, for instance, one time he walked in and the guy that was in the kitchen when he first walked in said, "Jerry Miller, I thought you retired." And he said he walked through the kitchen and then the guy in the living room said, "Jerry Miller, I thought you died." And he said, "Man, I'm just getting older as I walk through this station." But no, he is very youthful even in his age. He is very youthful. And how long will he work? It's hard to say, because I don't see him leaving anytime soon, because I think the day he left, he would miss coming up here. He has been doing this since he was 18 years old, which it's just so hard for me to wrap my mind around. I got hired at 23, and to be hired at 18 on this job, it's crazy. So it's been such a huge part of his life, not just his adult life. I mean, 18, I consider 18-year-olds a kid, so this has been such a huge part of his life that it's hard to imagine, when he'll leave, because he'll miss it so much, I think, He has a unique, I wouldn't say reputation, well, it's part of his reputation. He got hired when this fire department was not diverse at all. I mean, it was pretty much one ethnic group and one gender. But he has been on and seen this fire department evolve to the diverse group that it is. And he has a very good reputation amongst all races, women and men, as being fair, as not discriminating against anybody regardless of their color, regardless of their age, regardless of their gender. And it's cool to see somebody that's been on that long, that's respected by so many different groups, so many different demographics, because you don't see that a lot. Most guys, there's stereotyping, and it works both ways. You see an old, a lieutenant that's been on 40 plus years and he's a white guy, and you might think, oh, I bet he's, one of them good old boys and this and that. But it doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter black, white, Hispanic, male or female. Everybody respects him because he has been so fair across the board with everybody he's worked with. So I think that's a good quality that he's had on this fire department. And I will say this, I have worked with him, like I say, I guess almost 9 years. And 9 years that this job is very different. We don't show up at 8 o'clock and leave at 5. We live together. I mean, you live with someone and you get to know them, on a much more intimate level than you do just Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And he has never come to work in a bad mood. I mean, and you see guys that maybe they're having problems at home and kids are acting up, or maybe, them and their wives aren't getting along, or for whatever reason. He's never shown that at all here. And maybe he has, maybe he does get along with everybody at home, but regardless of what it is, he is never in a bad mood. I mean, and that's nice, because the attitude of the day trickles down from that officer. If he's having a bad day, everybody's having a bad day. And but he's never shown, oh man, he's never been the officer you think, oh, he's in a bad mood, today's not going to be fun. Always in a good mood. And that's something that we all try to emulate. Like, man, Lou never comes to work in a sour mood. We should do the same, So it's definitely, I can see, being a job that would be hard to leave.